As a Singaporean, you're entitled to 2 housing benefits in your lifetime. What are these benefits and how do they compare to each other? Let's find out. Hello, my name is Dannie and I'm a licensed property agent with Hutton's Real Estate. Today I'm going to talk about housing benefits in Singapore, such as your CPF grants, BTO, EC, and how they compare to each other. So every Singapore citizen can enjoy a total of 2 housing benefits in their lifetime. I will categorize the housing benefits into 3 main groups. Benefit number 1 is your housing grants when you're buying a resale HDB. Benefit number 2 is getting the opportunity to buy a BTO. And benefit number 3 is the opportunity to buy an EC from the developer. And remember, you can only take a maximum of 2 benefits in your lifetime, so I'm pretty sure you want to max it out if it is possible. So let's dive into these 3 housing benefits. Housing benefit number 1, it is the housing grants available for purchasing a resale HDB. We can further subcategorize this into CPF housing grant, proximity housing grant, and enhanced CPF housing grant. So if you buy a resale HDB and take these grants, then it is considered you have taken 1 housing subsidy. Let's look at an example of this young couple, Tom and Jerry, who wants to know whether a BTO or resale HDB is a better option for them. They are both Singapore citizens with an average monthly household income of $6,000. Let's say Tom and Jerry decided to buy a 4-room resale HDB within 4 km from their parents. How much grant can they get? CPF housing grant available for buying a 4-room resale HDB is at 50k. Proximity grant if you're buying within 4 km of your parent is 20k. And based on their monthly income, EHG available is at 35k. So the max grant available to Tom and Jerry is at 50 plus 20 plus 35, so that is at 105k. And they can use this to pay for their down payment of the HDB. Okay, what if Tom and Jerry decided to go for BTO instead? In this case, they can still enjoy the EHG, which for them is at 35k. There are no proximity or CPF housing grant for BTO. However, there are hidden benefits in getting a BTO. BTOs are brand new flats with a fresh 99-year lease, so there won't be a need to worry about lease decay issues for the next 20 years. BTOs are also priced lower than resale HDBs nearby. So now the question is, just how much lower are BTO usually priced compared to resale HDB? To find out the price difference between a BTO and a resale HDB, let's take a look at a case study of MacPherson Dew BTO. MacPherson Dew was launched in 2021 and a typical 4-room was offered at about 550k. A similar 4-room HDB nearby at MacPherson Residency was going for about 750k in the same year. That is about 200k or 25% difference. From here, you can see that the financial benefit tied to a BTO is significantly more. Including EHG, Tom and Jerry would actually be sitting on a total benefit of about 235k instead if they went for BTO. In a resale HDB, their total grant was at 105k. But the disadvantage of a BTO is the long wait time. Usually most BTO take about 5 years to be built. So although the financial benefit of a BTO is attractive, maybe a resale HDB is still a more attractive option for some people as there's a much shorter wait time. You can usually get a resale HDB within 5 months from the day of your offer acceptance. Now let's look into the third and last kind of housing benefits, and that is the executive condominium, or EC in short. ECs are widely described as condominiums sold at discounted prices. So how does that actually work? ECs are built by private developers and the developers have to bid for the land just like how they do if they were developing a condominium. The only difference is the reserve price for EC land is set lower. In a way, the land sold to developer is at a discount and the discounted land price should relate to lower prices to retail buyers later on. Let's look at a comparison between a private condo and EC to better understand the price discount priced into an EC. For the comparison, we will look into Provence Residence EC and Water Gardens at Canberra, which is a condo. Both of these are in a similar location near Canberra MRT and they are launched in a similar time in 2021. You can see here from the chart that the condo land price was 15% more expensive than the ECs. The condo selling price was 26% higher than the EC. A typical 3-bedroom at Water Garden of about 950 square feet was sold for about 1.4 mil, while a 3-bedroom of a similar size in Provence went for 1.15 mil. So that's a difference of about 250k. Although the interior finishing of an EC may not be as great as a condo, it is really not a big difference. There's also a housing grant of max 30k available for first timers buying an EC. Anyway, first timer means people who have not taken any housing benefits before. So based on our examples today, which housing benefit is the most rewarding? EC option has the best potential profit of about 280k in hidden subsidy, followed by a BTO with about 200k in hidden subsidy, and a resale HDB with 105k in hidden subsidy. Anyway, these numbers are based on examples used today, and it could really vary differently for different scenarios. The financial benefit from housing grants in resale HDB is easily quantifiable. We can calculate exactly what is the grant amount. However, for BTO and EC, it really varies with different developments, locations, and the price you're buying for. Although EC offers the maximum financial benefit, in reality, not many young couples can afford the down payment of an EC. A typical 3-bedroom EC goes for about 1.3 to 1.4 mil, and you need about 380k total for the down payment and stamp duties. I hope you have followed through and understood them clearly. If you're still not very sure and would like to ask me questions, feel free to leave a comment down below and I'll address them in my next video. Okay, so what housing options should you go for? If you're a very young couple who just graduated or about to graduate, then I would recommend you to go for BTO or sales of balance flat. They are the same. If you're lucky, you will get it in your first try. If not, then keep trying. You're young and you have time. If you are somewhat not so young couple anymore, maybe approaching 30s or past 30s, then you have a more immediate need for space. Then I think resale HDB might be a better option for you. You can still go for BTO if you have a place to stay for a few years. Although the financial benefit tied to a BTO at about 250k is quite attractive, however, if we factor in a waiting period of about 5 years, then this 250k is really about 50k per year. So if you went for BTO and you don't have a temporary place to stay, then you will need to rent. So in this case, your rental can easily come up to about 36k per year. So you have to ask yourself this question: is the difference of about 14k per year really worth the wait for BTO? If you're already a HDB owner and you have worked for more than 10 years, then I think you should be considering to go for EC or private property instead of going for another BTO. Assuming you have sufficient fundings. So why do I say this? You see, EC can be part of your legacy planning. It is an asset for your children. EC is quite unique in the sense that it will be fully privatized 10 years from TOP. This is to say it will be categorized as a private property. Why is it so important in legacy planning for your property to be a private property? Why can't HDB be a legacy planning? Well, I will talk about it in the next video. Remember to like and subscribe to this video. Now, let's move on to the common questions and misconceptions most of my clients had before meeting me. Question number 1. Is it true that if I take the resale HDB grant and when I sell it back later, I need to return the grant to the HDB? This is not true. You do not need to return a grant. You only need to return the resale levy, and only if you choose to buy another subsidized property, such as BTO, EC from developer, or resale HDB with grant. So, for example, if you sold your BTO and buy a condo, you don't need to return the government anything. The money is yours. Question number 2. If I use my CPF will charge me 2.5% interest rate. Is it true? No, not true. However, HDB do charge you 2.5% accrued interest, but this 2.5% accrued interest is still your money that goes back into your CPF OA. You can use it to buy your next property after selling your existing property. This money stays in your CPF system. It is yours. Question number 3. If I buy a resale HDB but only get CPF housing grant and cannot get the EHG or PHG, am I considered to have taken a housing subsidy? The answer is yes. Even if you did not max out your resale grants, for example, you only took a CPF housing grant, you are still considered to have taken a housing subsidy, and you will be considered a second timer in your next purchase. So guys, sometimes if you cannot get much grant in resale HDB, it might be better to save your chance first and don't take any grants first, because you can only get a max of 2 grants or benefits, and you might want to max it out the next time if it is possible. Okay, I hope you have enjoyed this video, and if you found it to be useful, please like, subscribe and share this video on your socials. I'll see you again next time. Ciao.
Started as a whisper, message from a new world.